Here's the supplements that I take to build muscle and get as strong as I can and stay in the best shape possible at age 47. Well, I turn 47 next month, so if you're watching this content in a month's time, I'll be 47. So at my age, I'm all about getting 1% better every week, every month, just those small increments. I've given away the idea of trying to be the absolute best that I can be and pushing my body to breaking points because it has broken many, many times. So at my age, I'm all about just getting better, and not getting worse. And something that comes up regularly in the UMS online coaching is supplementation. People ask what supplements they should take and how much they should take it. So I'm going to share what I take. I'm going to share the supplements that I think everybody should take once you've dialed in your nutrition, if you want to perform optimally, if you want to get the most out of your gym training. Because when you go to the gym and you lift weights and you are trying to get stronger, you are trying to build muscle, the purpose of that workout is to create a stimulus within the body. That's why you do resistance training. You create a stimulus. And then the body receives the stimulus, and there's all these hormonal responses that go on where the body says, let's adapt to that stimulus and let's get stronger so that the next time we do the same thing, we're subjected to the same stress that our bodies can handle it better. And that adaptation requires nutrition for it to happen. Okay, so if you want to build muscle, you want to get stronger, within the muscle fibers, we need protein. We need certain nutrition for that adaptation to occur. So a good way to think about this is, kookaburras are out there going for it, is that if you go to the gym and you don't feed your body the right way, it's like putting your foot down on the accelerator in your car, wanting it to go faster when there's no petrol in the petrol tank. That's literally what's happening. So everything that I'm about to say it comes after optimizing nutrition and optimizing your health. If you have not optimized your nutrition so that your body is lean and functioning well, then supplementation is not something that you should be looking at doing. You should always focus on getting your nutrition right. And this talk is not about nutrition. I have many, many other videos and podcasts where we do discuss nutrition, but at the grassroots of it, you want to eat a whole food diet, you want to be maximizing protein in every meal, and you want to be eliminating processed foods and just moderating, just being aware of how much carbohydrate, fat, and protein you're having. So all that aside, now we'll get on to supplementation. And before I get into this, I'm not one of the science guys on YouTube. So if you want to go and you want to learn all of the research behind this, if you want to learn the tech talk behind it, then this isn't the video for you. The sources where I get my information from and people that I think are credible, who are well worth listening to, Lane Norton is a really good source. Ben Pakulski is a really good source. I also do get some information from Peter Attia, MD. So these are people that have a lot of skin in the game, that have a high level of education, that I trust their opinions on. So what I'm about to share with you is information that I've gathered over 2 decades of being a personal trainer, over doing many workshops with industry leaders, with people who are at the forefront of the research, and then applying it to myself and balancing what works versus what I'm willing to spend money on as well. Because, when you start going down this route of supplementation, it can cost you a lot of money. But what I see in the UMS online coaching is I often see people who are training really hard and who are, or maybe not even training hard, but who are very consistent with their training, who their training should be delivering a certain result. And sometimes they're feeling like the results that they're achieving aren't matching the output of what they're putting into their workouts. And when that happens, we have to look at sleep, we have to look at nutrition, and we have to look at supplementation. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. So I'll touch on that as well. If you're not getting 8 hours sleep a night, if you're if you don't have a good sleep routine where you're following a circadian rhythm, where you go to sleep at relatively the same time every night, meaning that your body naturally is allowed to wind down and then you fall asleep, and then you go and then you're waking up at all different times, then that's going to be a real problem, because that's going to affect your testosterone. It's going to affect your hormone levels that govern satiety and that govern hunger. So sleep is definitely something that you need to be looking at. So let's move on to supplements. Without a doubt, the first supplement that I think everybody should be taking who has already optimized their sleep, they're training consistently, and they're training following a good program that is stimulating their body in a way where we should be seeing muscle growth and we should be seeing strength development, and their nutrition is on point. The first supplement is a whey protein source. I personally prefer whey protein isolate, and the reason that I do that is because it has lower calories, it has less fat than a whey protein concentrate. So whey protein concentrates are more used, my understanding, I'm not a bodybuilder, but my understanding of when I've spoken to bodybuilders is they'll use that in a bulking phase because it gives them more calories, allows them to bulk easier. I don't do that. I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't bulk and I don't cut. And at age 47, it is harder to stay lean. It's harder for me to stay lean year round. So I want to moderate the amount of calories that I'm having in a day. So I take a whey protein isolate. Now, by far, everything that I'm about to talk about, because you're probably, protein. Like everybody's heard that you need protein if you want to build muscle. But it still surprises me to this day that the people that I talk to are still not understanding how and why you need to increase your protein levels if you want to maximize muscle protein synthesis. And we have so much good research now to fall back on that all says that if you want to maximize muscle protein synthesis, then you should be aiming for 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, or 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. So it depends whether you're in America or the rest of the world, whether you're going to be talking at pounds or kilograms. So you're not going to die if you don't have this. Your health probably isn't going to suffer if you don't hit that amount of protein. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about being frustrated as to why you might not be achieving the results that you want in the gym, why you're not getting stronger at pull-ups, why you're not, building muscle with your training. And I resisted having a protein supplement for a good decade, maybe even a decade and a half of my training. I just thought it was a wank. I just thought it was bodybuilding crap. And I went down that rabbit hole of, it was confirmation bias, where I was looking at people who were teaching that as long as you're eating a well-balanced diet, you don't need supplements. And, in theory, that's true. It is true. If you're eating a well-balanced diet, you don't need supplements. But as soon as you start looking at, I want to build muscle, and you're working your butt off and it's not happening, the root cause is most likely that you're not getting enough protein in your diet. And so then somebody like me who weighs 200 pounds, if I want to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day, or if you want to look in metric terms, 90 kilograms, if I want to get 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, we're looking at 200 grams of protein in a day. And then if you look at how you can get that from food, and I'm an omnivore, so I eat meat. So when you look at, that 100 grams of most red meat, most cuts of red meat are going to have anywhere from sort of 23, 24 up to 27 or 28 grams of protein, depending on how lean the cut is. I need to eat basically about 200 grams of red meat, one of the highest sources of protein from meat, to get 50 grams of protein. Now, that's a lot of meat. And if I want to do that 8 times in a day, if I want to get 200 grams of protein, think about how much meat you're eating. Now, there was a period of time where I did this with eggs, And I was having smoothies with egg. Like, this was back when I was on the, anti-supplement wagon. And I was having 3 smoothies a day that each had 6 eggs in them, so that I could get, depending on the size of the eggs, maybe 40 grams of protein per smoothie. That's a lot of eggs. It's a lot of calories. It's a lot of glugging down, big smoothies. And so there's a couple of reasons why I highly recommend a protein supplement. Number one is that it's really, really easy to get 50 grams of protein in one serve. So what I do is, in the morning, I have a protein smoothie. I have a smoothie that has 2 serves of protein powder in it. And the protein powder that I take has about 27 grams of protein per 30 gram serve. So I'm getting roughly 50 grams of protein in that smoothie. So in one hit, there's my 50 grams of protein. And I have another 2 serves of protein powder later on in the day, straight after my workout. And so those 2 smoothies, or 1 smoothie and 1 just protein shake, which is just water and 2 serves of protein powder, there's half of my protein requirements in one day. And then all I need to do is make sure that in the 2 meals that I eat outside of that, because the smoothie in the morning is a meal, I have a lot of other things in it, which makes it a meal because there's a lot of calories, there's fiber, a lot of other stuff in there. So then when I eat my 2 meals a day, I just need to make sure that I'm getting 50 grams of protein in each meal. And that's doable for me. So that's the first reason why I have protein powder. The second reason is that it's highly bioavailable. It's pre-digested. Your body doesn't need to work to digest, to extract those nutrients from it. When you drink it and you just mix it with some saliva, your body can access that protein very, very quickly. And that's important. It's important because because what we're talking about here is maximizing muscle protein synthesis. And to maximize muscle protein synthesis, again, there's research that shows that if you get bioavailable protein within 30 minutes after your workout, you will increase muscle hypertrophy. And I want to do that. I want to do all the things that I can do to maximize muscle growth. And this has worked really well for me. When I decided that I was going to focus on building muscle, in the space of about a year, maybe 15 months, I put on about 8 kilograms of muscle, which is about 18 pounds for those of you over in America. And I didn't put on any fat. I wasn't like bulking, so I stayed lean. So I went from about 82 kilograms to about 90 kilograms, or about 182 pounds to 200 pounds. So, and what I see more and more from people is that they say, yes, I'm getting protein, but when you actually look into what they're eating, they're not getting that 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. So that is the first thing that you guys want to be doing. If you're training and you're putting the work in, what I recommend that everybody does is, for an absolute minimum, is that for 30 days, you track your macronutrients in a day. You can use MyFitnessPal, and you really track it so that you become very aware of how much protein you're consuming in a day. Because I did this for, I can't remember how long I did it for, maybe a month, maybe 3 months, whatever it was, probably about 10 or 15 years ago. And it taught me so much about being able to look at a meal and just eyeball it and have an idea of how much protein would be in that meal. And that's as far as my macronutrient tracking goes. I'm not obsessive. I don't track my carbohydrates. I don't track fats, but I don't avoid fats. I don't eat low-fat foods, and I eat good quality fat sources. But what I do is I'm really aware of how much protein I'm eating. So every meal that I have, I think to myself, okay, how can I get 50 grams of protein in this meal? And that's the first choice of my meal. And then I build the vegetables and the carbohydrates around it. So I highly recommend that all of you, and I'm talking to my UMS online coaching members here, that if you haven't done 30 days where every single meal of every single day that you track your protein so that you can be well aware of how much protein you're getting and hitting that protein goal that I keep talking about, then you're leaving a lot of gains on the table. You really are. That is the first thing that you want to be doing. You want to be really making sure that you're getting those 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. The second supplement that I recommend everybody take is creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is one of the most researched supplements. It has been around for decades. It is not new. Don't take any of those other forms of creatine that are mixed with whatever else it is, because there's several reasons. Partly because a lot of the stuff that they put in those supplement blends, they're actually just not really that effective. Another part is that the dose that you need of supplements to actually get a benefit from it, when you have one of those supplement blends with a lot of different things in it, the doses are so small that you're just not getting enough to actually make a difference in your body. And for creatine monohydrate, there's differing opinions on how much you want to take, but the general consensus seems to be that 5 grams a day is optimal. And then if you're a heavier person like me that trains more, you can take up to 10 grams. I personally take 10 grams a day. Creatine monohydrate it boosts athletic performance overall. It can help increase testosterone levels. It can increase muscle hypertrophy, and it increases brain function as well. It is a very, very good supplement to be taking. And for those of you out there that are really wanting to maximize your strength development, your muscle gains, everything that you do in the gym, start with whey protein isolate and creatine monohydrate daily. The next supplement that I recommend is electrolytes. Electrolytes are really important for a lot of different reasons. They help to increase hydration, they help muscle recovery and muscle function and nervous system function as well. They help with the nervous system, and the nervous system is what creates muscle contractions. So having your nervous system functioning well is very, very important for strength development, for strength training. And those are, like, I take several other supplements, but I'm not going to go into those because the whole purpose of this is getting you guys to get the grassroots level of your supplementation dialed in. And I really want all of you that are training, especially those of you that are doing the UMS online coaching with me, who are working to build muscle, who are working to get stronger, who are working to be in the best shape of their life in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I want you guys to understand how important this is. And here's something else. The older you get, the less effective your body is at synthesizing protein. And I can't remember the exact age, I think it was 55. But when you're over the age of 55, I think it was, I remember learning this several years ago, your protein requirements double because your body just isn't as effective at extracting the protein and synthesizing it and using it for muscle hypertrophy. So the older you get, the more relevant this comes, and you even want to be increasing your protein. So you always want to make sure that you get blood tests periodically. Like, I get blood tests probably every 6 months just to make sure that everything's working well and that the supplements that you're taking aren't causing you problems. My blood tests are always fine. When I get my blood test done, I'm in great health. So make sure that you're doing that. You want to be checking your liver function, your kidney function. You want to be checking your fasting blood glucose, your cholesterol levels, testosterone levels, all of those things. And I promise you guys, if you're training in the gym, you're lifting weights, you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to build muscle, if you make this one change, three changes. If you optimize your protein synthesis by having 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, with supplementing with a WPI protein powder, making sure that you're having at least one serve, potentially 2 serves like what I do within a 30-minute window after your strength training sessions, having 5 to 10 grams of creatine monohydrate a day, and having electrolytes a day. I take the LMNT ratios of electrolytes except for magnesium. Magnesium, I actually have 2 grams of magnesium glycinate a day, so I have 2 1,000 milligram magnesium glycinate tablets a day as well, because magnesium, low magnesium has a lot of problematic effects in the body. And the more intense your workouts are and the more you work out, the more magnesium you need. And in higher doses, magnesium glycinate is tolerated much better in the body than the other forms of magnesium. So that's it, guys. This talk was really directed at my UMS online coaching tribe members who have been asking me these questions lately. If you want to go and learn more about why you should be taking these ratios of supplements, as I said, you know, go and look at Peter Attia, MD, go and look at Lane Norton, and go and look at Ben Pekulski. Those are the main guys that I get my information from these days, besides you know, the decades of lectures and workshops that I've been to with people talking about, you know, the cutting edge research on supplementation, you know, over my 2 decades now of being a personal trainer. So I hope it helps you guys. And if you've got any questions or any comments, put them in the comment section. If you've made it this far on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me to go out and for those to get the content out. And for those of you who are over the age of 30, who are feeling like you're unable to perform the way that you want to due to lack of flexibility, due to aches and pains, due to injuries that you can't seem to, you know, get to fix, to resolve on your own. If you're confused by all of the conflicting advice and you want something that's just going to work for you as you get older, then come and join my UMS online coaching, where you'll be working directly with me and my team, and we will write your programs for you, and you will get stronger and more flexible, and your aches and pains will vanish. And thanks for watching, guys. Oh, if you want to do that, go to unitygym.com, of course. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you on my next live stream.